Elizabeth Audencream.
This One's Wife, Lily the Golden and Archie the Scapegoat. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Whilst some of you do not accept that the children exist, others of you do, and whether you believe that they were born naturally or of a surrogate, you form the view that the children are there. And I know that many of you have expressed your concern for those children as a consequence of the fact that they have this one's wife, a narcissist, as a parent. There are many of you that access my work who are the adult children of narcissists, ACONs, and therefore the behaviours that I describe in relation to her treatment of the children resonate with you. There are others of you who may not have had any involvement with narcissists, but you access my work because you have an interest about this one's wife. What I'm going to do here is to utilise material that some of you might not otherwise access in relation to explaining to you what the golden child is and what the scapegoat is, and for you to then, as you're listening, apply what you understand about the relationship that this one's wife has with her children, so that you can see why Lily is the golden child, why Archie is the scapegoat. You can think of the instances that you have seen. For example, when it was Archie's birthday, there was just a picture of him looking rather lonely, staring out across the sea. Yet, when it was Lily's birthday, there were repeated postings on social media. There was the trip to Disney World, or Disneyland, isn't it? And there was the pictures of her with her parents, that the picture of her with this one's wife. She was given a much more visual and apparently loving birthday occasion that appeared far more celebrated than that of Archie. There is just an example of the golden treatment that is meted out by this one's wife in respect of Lily and the fact that Archie is a scapegoat. You may also recall the response of Archie in the garden when he was invited to water the plants. He responded by saying, "Only if you want me to," which I know that many of you found a rather heartbreaking response from a young boy to respond to his mother in such a way, already exhibiting the way that he is controlled and manipulated. Accordingly, I'm first going to talk about the golden child, how the golden child is identified, spotted, how they're treated, and why this happens. And as you listen, I'd like you to think about how you see this according with the behaviour of this one's wife. In the twisted theatre of the narcissist world, where every interaction is a performance and every person a prop, the role of the golden child stands as a glittering prize, a crown bestowed upon one fortunate, or perhaps more accurately, doomed offspring. To the uninitiated, this child appears blessed, showered with praise, privilege, and apparent love, a beacon of the narcissist's benevolence. But peel back the curtain and you'll discover the truth. The golden child is not a cherished soul, but a selected tool, a mirror to reflect the narcissist's grandeur, a vessel to secure their fuel, a pawn in their relentless quest for control. Why does the narcissist elevate one child above the rest? How does this favoritism manifest in their poison paradise? What drives this calculated choice? Well, let us dissect this dynamic, exposing the narcissist's motives, their methods, and the dark machinery of the narcissist's mind. The narcissist does not choose the golden child out of love, for love is a concept as alien to the narcissist as humiliate. No, the selection is a strategic act, a decision rooted in the narcissist's insatiable need for fuel and control, the pursuit of the prime aims, the necessity of gaining that illusion of omnipotence. The golden child is chosen because they serve this need with unparalleled efficiency, a living testament to the narcissist's supposed perfection. But what makes a child the ideal candidate for this role? It's not random, nor is it based on merit. The narcissist seeks a child who mirrors their idealized self, who can be molded into an extension of their grandeur, who will provide a steady stream of positive fuel through compliance, achievement, or adoration. The chosen child is often the one who, in the narcissist's warped perception, reflects their own traits, real or imagined. Perhaps the child is charming, intelligent, or physically attractive, qualities the narcissist claims as their own creation. Perhaps they are pliable, eager to please, a blank canvas for the narcissist's projections. Or perhaps they excel in ways that can be paraded before others, a trophy to bolster the narcissist's facade of superiority. The narcissist sees in this child a miniature version of themselves, a living proof of their genius, a prop to display to the world. Behold, my creation, my legacy, my perfection. The golden child is not loved for who they are, but is preferred for what they represent: a mirror, a megaphone, a monument to the narcissist. Contrast this with the scapegoat, the child who bears the narcissist's projected flaws, or the lost child who fades into obscurity. The golden child is elevated because they serve the narcissist's immediate needs. They provide positive fuel through their successes, character trait acquisition through their achievements. They reinforce the narcissist's facade of being a flawless parent, and they provide the means of control over the family dynamic. The narcissist's choice is not about the child's worth, but about their utility, their ability to feed the narcissist's hunger for validation, to maintain the illusion that all is well in their kingdom. And oh, how effectively does the narcissist make this choice with a precision that belies their emotional void. How does the narcissist's favoritism manifest? It's a spectacle of indulgence, manipulation, and control, a performance designed to elevate the golden child when ensuring they remain tethered to the narcissist's will. The golden child is bathed in praise, showered with privileges, and held up as the standard against which all others are judged. Yet, this apparent adoration is a gilded cage, a trap that binds the child to the narcissist, their freedom sacrificed for the illusion of love. Let us look at some of the examples of how the manifestation of this favoritism is. 1. Extravagant praise and public adoration. The narcissist lavishes the golden child with praise, often in front of others to maximize the fuel it generates. Consider the narcissist's mother, Diana, whose daughter Sophie is a talented pianist. At every family gathering, Diana proclaims, "Sophie's a prodigy, just like her mother was at her age," ignoring Sophie's siblings who excel in other areas. She parades Sophie's awards on social media, boasting to her followers about "my little genius," while privately reminding Sophie that her talent is a reflection of Diana's genes. This praise is not for Sophie's benefit, but for Diana's, a means to bask in reflected glory, to secure fuel from admirers, and to reinforce her facade as the perfect mother. 2. Preferential treatment and material spoils. The golden child is granted privileges denied to others, a tangible sign of their elevated status. Take the narcissist father, Richard, whose son James is his chosen heir. James receives a new car for his 16th birthday, while his sister Emma gets a second-hand bike. Richard enrolls James in an elite private school, claiming he deserves the best, while Emma attends a local comprehensive. When James wants to travel abroad, Richard funds it, but Emma's requests are dismissed as frivolous. This disparity is not about fairness but control, ensuring James remains loyal to Richard's vision while sowing division among siblings, keeping the family under control. 3. Excused failures and shielded consequences. The golden child is protected from accountability, their flaws excused or ignored to preserve the narcissist's illusion of their perfection. Imagine the narcissist parent Claire, whose golden child Liam is caught cheating at school. Claire storms into the principal's office, charming and cajoling, insisting, "Liam's under so much pressure because he's so gifted." She secures his reinstatement, while his brother Noah faces harsh punishment for a lesser infraction. Liam's failures are reframed as misunderstandings. His success is magnified, ensuring he remains the untarnished mirror of Claire's greatness, while Noah bears the brunt of her rage. Manipulation through conditional love. The narcissist's love for the golden child is of course not love, for the narcissist has no emotional empathy, and instead it is a transaction contingent on their compliance. Consider the narcissist's mother Vanessa, whose golden child Olivia is a star athlete. Vanessa attends every event, cheering loudly, but her praise comes with strings. "You're my champion, Olivia, as long as you keep winning." When Olivia loses a match, Vanessa's warmth vanishes, replaced by cold silence or cutting remarks. "You're letting me down." Olivia learns to perform, to win, to please, her identity tied to Vanessa's approval, her autonomy eroded by the narcissist's conditional adoration. 5. Triangulation and family division. The narcissist uses the golden child to manipulate the family dynamic, fostering rivalry and division. Picture the narcissist's father, Graham, who dotes on his golden child, Chloe, while ignoring his son, Ethan. At dinner, Graham praises Chloe's grades. "She's going to be a CEO one day," while dismissing Ethan's efforts. "You'll never amount to much." He encourages Chloe to belittle Ethan, creating a hierarchy where Chloe's loyalty to Graham is rewarded and Ethan's resentment is ignored. This triangulation ensures Graham's control, keeping the family fractured and dependent on his favour. These manifestations are not acts of love, but weapons in the narcissist's arsenal, designed to secure fuel, to maintain control, to maintain a facade. The golden child is not cherished, but is exploited, their role a performance in the narcissist's grand delusion, their privilege a chain that binds them to their creator. Why does the narcissist choose this path? What drives them to elevate one child while casting others into shadow? The answer lies in the dark machinery of their psyche, a labyrinth of need, delusion, and control. The narcissist is not a person in the way that you would ordinarily understand them to be. They are a construct of grandiosity, masking a void of self-worth, their existence dependent on the fuel provided by others' reactions. The golden child is a critical component in this system, a tool to feed the hunger, a mirror to reflect the illusion, a pawn to secure the dominance. Fuel is the narcissist's lifeblood, the emotional reactions, positive or negative, that affirm the existence of the narcissist. Invariably, the golden child provides a steady stream of positive fuel through their achievements, their compliance, their reflection of the narcissist's idealized self. When Sophie wins a piano competition, Diana boasts on social media, and those boasts elicit admiration from her followers, a delicious hit of fuel that reinforces her power. The golden child's successes are not theirs, but they are acquired by the narcissist, a source of validation that keeps the void at bay. The narcissist chooses the child who can deliver this fuel most effectively, whether through talent, charm, or malleability. The facade of perfection. The narcissist construct can be fragile, a lie of superiority that must be maintained at all costs. The golden child is a living testament to this lie, proof of the narcissist's brilliance as a parent, a creator, a god. By elevating James, Richard can parade him before colleagues saying, "My son is destined for greatness," reinforcing his image as a successful patriarch. The golden child's achievements are co-opted through character trait acquisition, their existence a prop in the narcissist's performance, their role to make the narcissist shine brighter. The narcissist chooses the child who best enhances this illusion, who can be shaped into a reflection of the narcissist's supposed perfection. The need for control. Control is axiomatic, a bulwark against the chaos of the inner void. The golden child is a tool of control both over themselves and the family dynamic. By favouring Chloe, Graham ensures her loyalty, binding her to his will while pitting her against Ethan, keeping the family divided and dependent. The golden child's compliance, their eagerness to please, allows the narcissist to exert dominance, to shape their identity, to dictate their path. The narcissist chooses the child who can be controlled most effectively, whose devotion or fear ensures their obedience, whose role reinforces the narcissist's power. Projection of the idealized self. The narcissist cannot bear their own flaws, not consciously, but subconsciously they project their idealized self onto the golden child, seeing in them the perfection they claim but cannot achieve. When Claire excuses Liam's cheating, she sees not a flawed boy, but a gifted prodigy, a mirror of her own imagined brilliance. The golden child becomes an extension of the narcissist, their successes a validation of the narcissist's delusions, their failures a threat to be erased. The narcissist chooses the child who most closely aligns with this idealized image, who can be molded into a living embodiment of their fantasy. Manipulation of the family dynamic. The narcissist thrives on division, using the golden child to manipulate siblings, to sow discord, to maintain their centrality. By praising Olivia while ignoring her siblings, Vanessa creates a hierarchy where Olivia's loyalty is secured and her siblings' resentment is ignored or exploited. The golden child's elevation ensures the narcissist remains the arbiter of love, the source of favour, the god of the family. The narcissist chooses the child who can best serve this role, whose status as the favoured one keeps the family fractured, their power unchallenged. Deflection of accountability. The narcissist cannot tolerate blame, so the narcissist will use the golden child to deflect accountability to prove their worth as a parent. When Sophie excels, Diana can say, "Look at my daughter, proof I'm a great mother," while ignoring her neglect of Sophie's siblings. The golden child's successes absolve the narcissist of their failures. Their existence amounts to a shield against criticism. The narcissist chooses the child that can best serve this purpose, whose achievements can be co-opted by character trait acquisition to silence the doubters, to maintain the illusion of their flawlessness. The golden child's role is not a blessing, but a burden, a crown of thorns disguised as gold. They are not loved, but used. Their identity shaped by the narcissist's needs, their autonomy sacrificed for the illusion of favour. They may bask in praise, but it is conditional, their worth tied to their performance, their failures a betrayal. They may enjoy privileges, but they are chains, binding them to the narcissist's will. They may shine in the narcissist's eyes, but it is a reflection, not a reality, their true self buried beneath the weight of expectation. The narcissist's choice of the golden child is driven by the narcissism, to pursue, of course, the prime aims. It is not about the child, but about the narcissist, their delusion, their survival. The golden child is a tool, a mirror, a monument, and their elevation is a performance in the narcissist's grand illusion, a tragedy disguised as triumph. And yet, in their gilded cage, they may glimpse the truth. They are not chosen for love, but for utility. Their crown a symbol not of glory, but of servitude. Accordingly, you have heard a detailed explanation there about the formation of the golden child, their selection, their utility. I dare say you can see how that applies to Lily, how this one's wife sees Lily as something of herself, that she sees her as the beautiful one, the talented one, the outgoing one, and that she projects all of those, in essence, imagined brilliances on the part of this one's wife onto the child, and raises the bar for expectation with regard to how she ought to perform. You will be able to think of the instances whereby this one's wife has meted out favourable treatment, preferential treatment to Lily compared to that of Archie. Think about the number of occasions where we have seen more of Lily in photographs compared to the back of Archie's head. Consider the instances whereby we have seen Lily used more in the promotion of material. Think about when As Ever came into being and there was the strange picture of this one's wife and Lily gambolling across the lawn. Archie was nowhere to be seen. You are readily able to determine not only how this one's wife has selected Lily as the golden child, but you can also understand now in the way that you've seen her behaving towards her as to how that accords with the golden child. And in that, you've heard me explain about the fact of the way that dissension is caused within the family dynamic. And now I'm going to explain to you about the scapegoat. And you can again utilize this information as you listen to think about how Archie is the scapegoat within this family dynamic of the narcissist, that how he is the one that's the recipient of less favourable treatment, and also to apply your mind to why he has been given this status. In the theatre of human relationships, the role of a parent is one of profound responsibility, as I have come to learn from observing the behaviours of others and listening to them. I understand, intellectually at least, that it is a sacred duty to nurture, guide and empower a child to flourish. To understand the grotesque distortion that is the narcissist's treatment of their scapegoated child, we first must cast light upon the hallmarks of a healthy parent-child dynamic. Only then can one fully appreciate the malignant artistry of the narcissist's cruelty, the precision with which they select and torment their scapegoat. A healthy parent is a gardener of the soul, perhaps, a phrase I've heard used by others, tending to their child with care, consistency, and unconditional love. They see their child as an individual, a unique being with their own thoughts, feelings, and potential. Their role is not to mould the child into a mirror of themselves, but to provide a safe space where the child can grow, explore, and become. They offer praise when deserved, constructive guidance when needed, and unwavering support through life's inevitable storms. Mistakes are met with understanding, not condemnation. Successes are celebrated without envy. A healthy parent listens, validates, and encourages, fostering a child's self-esteem and resilience. They discipline with fairness, not fury, and their love is a constant, not a currency to be earned or withheld. The parent does not view their child as an extension of themselves, but as a separate entity, deserving of respect and autonomy. They teach boundaries, model empathy, and provide a secure base from which the child can venture into the world. Even in moments of frustration, their actions are tempered by a commitment to the child's well-being as a consequence of their emotional empathy. They do not seek to dominate or diminish, but to uplift and empower. This is the standard, the benchmark against which the narcissist's parenting fails spectacularly. Enter the narcissist, a creature sometimes of grandiosity, sometimes of fabricated fragility, whose parenting is not an act of love but a performance of control. The narcissist parent does not see their child as an individual but as a tool, a prop, in their endless quest for validation, fuel, supremacy. Within their family dynamic, the narcissist often assigns roles to their children: the golden child, an extension of their own perceived perfection, and the scapegoat, a vessel for their rage and failures. The scapegoat is the child singled out for blame, criticism, and punishment, the one who bears the weight of the narcissist's distorted worldview. The scapegoat is not chosen at random. They are the child who, by their very nature, threatens the narcissist's control and facade. Perhaps they're sensitive, questioning, or independent, qualities that challenge the narcissist's need for absolute control. Perhaps they mirror traits the narcissist despises in themselves, or fails to reflect the idealized image that the narcissist demands, that they're not as physically attractive as the narcissist would require, as clever as the narcissist needs. Whatever the reason, the scapegoat becomes the lightning rod for the narcissist's malcontent, a canvas upon which they paint their venomous projections. Let us look at some instances of the scapegoating behavior and how it manifests. 1. Unrelenting criticism and blame. The narcissist parent targets the scapegoat with a barrage of criticism, often disproportionate to the child's actions. A spilled glass of milk becomes evidence of the child's carelessness or stupidity. A poor grade is not a moment for guidance, but a public shaming, with the narcissist proclaiming, "You're always," note the use of always, "such a disappointment." The scapegoat is blamed for family discord, even when the narcissist's own behavior is the root cause. For instance, during a family argument, the narcissist may declare, "If you weren't so difficult, we wouldn't be fighting," shifting responsibility onto the child while absolving themselves. 2. Denial of reality. The narcissist manipulates the scapegoat's perception of reality, making them question their own thoughts and feelings. If the child expresses hurt over being ignored or belittled, the narcissist responds with, "You're too sensitive," or "That never happened, you're making it up." This gaslighting leaves the scapegoat doubting their own sanity, an instinctive tactic of the narcissist to keep them disoriented and dependent. For example, if the scapegoat recalls a promise the narcissist made, say to attend their school play, and the narcissist failed to show, they might retort, "I never said I'd come. You must have imagined it." 3. Favoritism and triangulation. The narcissist pits siblings against each other, elevating the golden child while denigrating the scapegoat. The golden child is showered with praise, gifts, and leniency, while the scapegoat is held to impossible standards. If the golden child excels, the narcissist uses it to shame the scapegoat. Why can't you be more like your sister? If the scapegoat achieves something noteworthy, the narcissist downplays it or attributes it to luck, while the golden child's smallest accomplishments are celebrated. This triangulation fosters resentment and division, ensuring the scapegoat feels isolated and unworthy. 4. Emotional neglect and withholding affection. The narcissist parent withholds love, approval, and attention from the scapegoat, using affection as a weapon. They may ignore the child's emotional needs, dismissing their fears or sadness as weakness. For example, if the scapegoat is upset after being bullied at school, the narcissist might sneer, "Stop crying, you're embarrassing yourself." This neglect is not simply passive, it is part of the way that the narcissist instinctively behaves, designed to make the scapegoat crave the narcissist's approval, which is rarely, if ever, granted. 5. Public humiliation. The narcissist thrives on control, and humiliating the scapegoat in front of others is a favoured tactic. At family gatherings, they might recount the scapegoat's failures with exaggerated disdain, inviting others to join in the mockery. For example, "Oh, here comes our little klutz, always messing things up," while laughing at the child's expense. This public shaming reinforces the scapegoat's role as the family's problem, cementing their isolation. 6. Projection of flaws. The narcissist projects their own insecurities, failures, and shame onto the scapegoat. If the narcissist feels inadequate, they label the scapegoat as useless or a burden. If they are envious of the child's potential, they sabotage their efforts, ensuring the child never outshines them. For example, if the scapegoat shows talent in music, the narcissist might refuse to pay for lessons, claiming, "You're not good enough to bother with that." To understand why the narcissist scapegoats their child, one must look into the psyche of the narcissist. The narcissist's world is one of black and white absolutes. They must be perfect, admired, and in control, or they are nothing. The scapegoat, then, is not just a child, but a threat, a mirror, and a tool all at once. The narcissist craves fuel, the emotional reactions that validate the existence of the narcissist. Positive fuel comes from adoration, praise, and compliance. Negative fuel comes from fear, pain, and submission. The scapegoat's role is to provide a steady stream of negative fuel, deliciously potent through their distress, confusion, and attempts to please the unpleasable. When the scapegoat cries, argues, or withdraws, the narcissist feels powerful, their control reaffirmed. Scapegoating is instinctively done to harvest fuel. Projection of the false self-shadow. The narcissist's grandiose self-image is in fact a lie, a construct that cannot withstand sustained scrutiny. Deep within there is inadequacy and emotions that they are unable to acknowledge without risking psychological collapse. The scapegoat becomes the dumping ground for these unwanted feelings. By labeling the child as worthless or difficult, the narcissist externalizes their own flaws, preserving their illusion of perfection. The child's suffering is collateral damage in this act of self-preservation, for the narcissist, of course, has no emotional empathy for them. Control and dominance. As you know, the narcissist's need for control is absolute. A child who questions, rebels, or shines too brightly threatens this control, making them a prime candidate for scapegoating. By breaking the child's spirit through criticism, blame, and neglect, the narcissist ensures they remain subservient, unable to challenge the narcissist's authority. The scapegoat's role is to absorb the narcissist's rage and insecurity, keeping the family dynamic under their command. Envy and competition. The narcissist is pathologically envious, unable to tolerate anyone who might outshine them, even their own child. A scapegoat who shows intelligence, talent, or independence becomes a target for the narcissist's envy. They sabotage the child's achievements, diminish their worth, and ensure they never surpass the narcissist's perceived greatness. The scapegoat's potential is a huge threat to the narcissist's need for control, and the narcissism will stop at nothing to keep it in check. Maintaining the family narrative. The narcissist constructs a family narrative in which they are the flawless hero. The golden child is their perfect reflection, and the scapegoat is the flawed antagonist. This narrative serves to deflect blame from the narcissist and maintain their facade of superiority. The scapegoat's role is to be the problem, the one who causes the family's dysfunction, allowing the narcissist to avoid accountability for their own destructive behavior. Punishment for seeing the truth. The scapegoat is often the child who sees through the narcissist's facade or veneer, who questions their lies or refuses to conform to their demands. This makes them dangerous, a threat to the narcissist's constructed reality. Scapegoating is a form of punishment for this perceived betrayal, a way to silence the child and ensure they never expose the narcissist's true nature. The more the child resists, the harsher the scapegoating becomes, as the narcissist seeks to crush their defiance. The scapegoat emerges from this crucible wounded but not broken. They may struggle with low self-esteem, self-doubt, and a pervasive sense of unworthiness, the scars of years of blame and neglect. And yet, they are often the most resilient, the ones who, through their suffering, develop a keen awareness of the narcissist's tactics. They may break free, seeking therapy, setting boundaries, or going no contact. But the journey is arduous. The narcissist's cruelty, by identifying this child as a scapegoat and treating them as such, leaves a mark. But it can also forge strength, for the scapegoat learns to survive in the shadow of a predator. The narcissist parent's scapegoating is not a flaw, but simply a feature of the disordered psyche. It is an instinctive act of control, projection, and self-preservation designed to maintain the construct at the expense of their child's well-being, for they have no emotional empathy for that child. The healthy parent nurtures, the narcissist destroys. The healthy parent empowers, the narcissist enslaves. The scapegoat is not just a victim, but a mirror reflecting the narcissist's deepest fears and failures, a mirror they cannot bear to face. In their torment lies the narcissist's truth. They are not gods but hollow shells, feeding on the pain of those they claim to love. And yet, in the scapegoat's resilience lies the ability to break free from the narcissist's chains and reclaim the self that was stolen. There you have the description of the scapegoat, and you can see the applicability of that to Archie. It is likely that he doesn't fit the image that this one's wife has for him. Perhaps, as some suspect, that he has some kind of condition, autism has been suggested, or learning difficulties, which means that he doesn't appear as the perfect mirror to the perfection that this one's wife believes that she has. It might be his physical appearance doesn't attain with what that she believes it ought to be. It might also lend credence to some suggestions that Archie is not her child, but was the product of a liaison between Harry and another woman. Whilst there's no direct evidence of that, if that were true, that would also provide a reason for Archie to be scapegoated. You've seen the various ways that this has happened, with Lily having the preferential treatment and Archie being treated less so. And I've given you some examples there of how Archie is likely to be treated away from the eye of the public and behind closed doors. Unfortunately, Harry, being a somewhat broken individual himself, is not up to the task of necessarily shielding his son from these manipulations. It might be something that the nannies are better at doing. And one suspects that, as I've explained in separate videos, that this one's wife most likely has little to do with him, shunning him, as opposed to actively taking things out on him. But this provides you with an understanding in relation to the role of the golden child and the scapegoat, and I wanted to include that so that those of you that might not necessarily access my work that is not this one's wife based actually understand more about this aspect of narcissism and apply it to the situation of Archie and Lilibet. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.